It's Amethyst.
It's Marvin.
And it's Samuel.
So, our topic for today is how do you ask for help when you really need it? Or how I'm sure for some people they don't really have a problem with asking for help, but that is not my experience, and these two as well. It's like it's really hard to ask for help. There's been times where I know if I would have asked for help at this point, but yet I let it get worse and worse and worse. Now we're at this point, and now I have to ask, and it's like, if I could have asked back here, my life would have been so much easier. But what are some ways that you can get better at that? Because we're not on this earth solo. We're all here together. There are communities, villages, tribes, families. Like, we're a social community for a reason, because we're all supposed to help each other. You're supposed to help people, and people are supposed to help you too. But it's just sometimes really hard to verbalize it or be that vulnerable to let people know that I need help. Like,
help me.
Help, please.
911.
Help me.
Wyclef John.
Help me. So, what y'all feel about it? Like, what y'all feel about asking for help? I know, especially being an artist, it's like a whole new ball game with asking for help with projects or whatever.
Big, or anything. For one, asking it as not even just as an artist, as a black man, as an artist. Just the way we grow, we got to do it by ourselves. We get prideful. Even as a man right now, a black man, that's just like, I got my own pride, not only with the way I deal with people, pride in myself. Finding that me inside of me, like, yo, bro, I'm stuck. But then I'm not wanting to accept that in myself to even want to even talk about it or ask it. And that's self-destruction. At the same time, it's just like, just going through the phases, because then you think of failing, and then from there it just goes a negative slope. So as myself, what I'm coming to learn is knowing when I need to help, like just being honest with when it comes down to being honest with yourself, like knowing when you need help, just saying, hey, I need help. I don't understand this, or slick asking about a friend of mine had, he did this, this, and this. Like, what you think he should do? Well, your friend should just say what the problem is.
Right.
So it's just accepting that and taking it forward and just grabbing it by the horns. But it comes to growth. So right now, to answer that question, I'm still working on that.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Still working.
And I have had a long storied history with this since like I was a kid, pretty smart kid, and not wanting to ask questions in class, still getting B's or A's or whatever, high school, middle school, elementary. So, I didn't want people to know, I guess, that it felt uncomfortable to have the spotlight on me, to be like, hey, Miss whatever, Rambunctious or whatever, I don't know.
I don't understand.
Yeah, like, what does that mean? So now everybody's looking at you. Ooh, all the kids, So, I think I was trying not to be uncomfortable, not big with the speaking thing as a kid, and then it just spirals on not speaking your mind, not wanting to make other people feel uncomfortable, not wanting to feel anxiety or whatever, but you end up feeling more anxiety. So now, it's a little bit easier for me to speak my mind, but it's still very hard to ask for help, especially like financial, if I need money, if I'm gonna have a problem. It's like, pride being a guy, wanting to be successful and not, to be able to earn my way, and not want to share that. So it's hard, very hard.
Yeah. I feel like if people ask me, they're like, hey, can you help me in this project? I'm just like, yeah, okay, I'll help. But then when it comes time for me to go back and be like, oh, I need someone to help me on this, I'm like, oh, I don't want to ask someone to come and take my audition. Like, I just don't want to bother them. I know I don't have anything. Like, maybe I can offer them a sandwich. Was that going to be enough?
Like, you have nothing to offer.
Like, you have nothing to offer that's as equal. But sometimes it's just going to be unequal. Sometimes you're going to help people and they have nothing to offer. And sometimes you're going to ask for help and you have nothing to offer. And then sometimes it, by the grace of God, is mutual. But just got to let that anxiety go. they say no, they say no. Like,
it's a fear.
they can't do it. They
Shoot
can't
your-
do
yeah,
it.
It's all about right now, shooting your shot now, whether it's just like, hey, I need help. But then, like, who knows? Look on the inside. You really do have we have so much to offer
Yeah.
Yes.
one another. Sometimes the person you do want to ask help to, you have so much to offer them. You wouldn't know. Which brings me back to, what was it, the catalog on that you had just sent me from? What was the
Yeah,
reference?
Harvard Business
Harvard
Review.
Business Review. They were talking about, I think it was number 5 of one of the points they were talking about ways to get better ways of asking for help. Don't assume that everybody knows what you know. Or they don't. You just have to ask the question because you don't know what the answer is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Half the time it comes that fear aspect. Fear. Ego, with that comes fear. How did it say it? What was it saying? It was number 4.
Oh.
And number 4 was saying, yeah, don't assume you know who and what people know.
It's a brilliant thing.
Yes, and that's a brilliant thing. You said it.
And also, like, number 5, create a culture where asking for help is encouraged. Like, you know, just your people or whoever, like, get used to doing it. The more you do it, it's not as difficult to do.
Practice
right?
makes consistency.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, getting comfortable with saying, look, I need help. I don't know, Marv, hey, I need help with this thing. You got me? Oh, I can't help you right now. And not take it like it's the end of the world. So not taking a no and that rejection personally, which is hard because if you have a certain relationship with somebody where they can say no to you and you're cool with it, that doesn't mean that is going to go to the next person. Because if we built that relationship, you know, if I built that with Amethyst and she's like, no, I can't do it right now, I already know she's solid. Now, if it's somebody else, I may not trust that because they said no. Was it because they didn't want to help me or whatever? So then it is a rapport thing. It is like you got to build that trust to believe that when somebody says they can't help you, they did want to, they just can't at
they
the
have
moment.
their own things going on.
Versus, and unfortunately with human beings, sometimes people can help you and they choose not to for whatever reason. It might make them uncomfortable or they're more interested in something else.
Accept that.
Yeah, it's like not taking it personally can help, but we are going to take it personally. If somebody does it in a way we didn't like, nah, I can't. Well, why? No, I ain't got nothing for you. I can't help you. It's like when we're in a tough situation, we ask for help. We feel like I was vulnerable with you, and you just gonna treat me like that. On top of you, like no, it's easy to take it, and I don't blame people for taking that personally and not wanting to ask for help because we don't want people to say no to us and make us look and feel stupid or foolish. Worse than when we started, but I think it makes you stronger, builds character, and we should do it more. We should ask for help more, all situations.
Like because at the end of the day, I don't know, I guess that's what friends and family are for.
Yes,
like
absolutely.
to help each other.
Absolutely.
Like sometimes, like I feel like I grew up like just wanting to be so independent, so bad, so young, and it's just like I didn't want people to help me. I didn't want my parents to help me. Like, and it's just kind of a bad habit to develop because then you get here and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to get people to help me, and I have no experience in asking for help because all this stuff I've just been doing it by myself, and now I want to achieve bigger things that I cannot do it by myself. I can't do it. If I don't ask people for help, it won't get done.
So it comes down to a conditioning thing because you've been doing everything for this long, conditioned this way to think this way. Now it's going into change to conditioning yourself again.
Like reconditioning myself so that asking for help, it doesn't make you weak. It doesn't mean that, oh, you lazy.
It takes strength to reach out because not everybody can do that.
Yes.
Ask for help.
Yes.
There's so much strength in that.
And don't be like, sometimes you can feel like what you may need help with is something silly. Like even if it's like, oh, like I'm just really having a bad day. I just need your help. Just like,
You might just need a hug. You might just need a hug.
Like, and just don't be like, oh, that's silly. Why am I gonna call somebody and ask them for a hug? If you need a hug, you need a hug. Call them.
Help is help.
And like, it's just that's just what you need, and
Kind
you know
words.
what you need. You know what you need, but don't abuse people.
Don't abuse people too, and and have a culture. I think that's one of the things as well of, or have a reputation of being useful to people, serving other people as well, so that when you need it.
They'll easily.
It'll be easier, but you're not entitled to somebody's help.
You're never entitled.
Like,
to
because we friends, so that you have
You
to help me.
gotta
And it's
help
just like,
me.
no,
Yeah,
like
no.
they may not be able to. Give them that power to say no without you going off and going crazy, because you don't want, the same thing. You don't want the same. You don't want to be treated that way.
Right.
Like they ask you for something, you say no, I can't do it right now, and then they punish you for that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be treated like that. So yeah, that's
Creating the culture where everybody's helping everybody. You help when you can. And just don't feel bad if you genuinely couldn't help somebody. Like you just couldn't. Like don't feel bad about it.
That's still helping though.
What?
You tried, even if you couldn't help you. That's still helping.
Oh, you're so optimistic.
Yeah, no, I'm saying it's still helping. It's still doing it.
You're still helping.
It doesn't mean you solved that issue, but you were helping.
And the last one on that list of Harvard Business Review is when you ask for help, ask smartly. Like, know what you need, and you don't want it to be poorly worded.
Yeah.
It makes it more difficult for the person.
Impeccable with your words.
Yeah, like make it like, don't be like, well, I kind of don't need this and that, and then changing. That makes it more difficult. If you ask for like, $40, and then the person like, sure, I got you, don't worry about it. And you're like, oh my God, thanks. And then
really,
next thing you know,
80.
actually, really, I need 80. Hey, can you do 100? It's like you not really respecting the situation, and you're making it harder for that person. Like, how much do you really need? Being honest.
But the thing is, how much they really need may be too much to ask
True. So.
Man, that's what coming to a common ground comes down to.
So I'm going to try to do better for asking for help when I need it. Like that's going to be one of my 2020 goals. Just ask for help because I've been sucking in that department.
Same. I need to work on my asking for help.
To keep it real and keep it clear and keep it true, not even to just the situation. It's true to yourself because it's all about yourself. At the end of the day, love yourself.
No doubt.
Love yourself.
Ask for help. Don't feel crazy about it. We all need it.
Okay.
All
So
right.
that's it.
I'll see y'all later. We gotta roll. We gotta hit the street.